going on?
Well, not too much. I think we're, a week away from bear season, Paul?
Yeah, isn't Youth Day?
This Saturday? Yesterday?
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, probably was.
I think so.
Because I'm not well-versed in bear hunting or the bear season, but I think it starts this coming weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Hard to keep up with all the laws anyway.
It is, yeah. Yeah. So if you don't like myself participate in certain like bear hunting, I don't know.
It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. This is podcast 67.
Yes, it is.
I'm trying to think what's new. Got a new shirt up. Did you see it?
I did not.
Yeah. So there's a limited release shirt.
T-shirt? Okay.
It'll be available through the end of September. So
I'll have to
check it out.
Yeah.
I made it active this morning.
Yeah. I'm advertising for one of the, I won't say competitors, but.
No, he's not a competitor.
No, I know he is.
Yeah. What would you call it? He's a
fellow YouTuber.
That's right.
He's a
colleague.
He's a colleague. He's a friend, not a foe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. FBM Maine Outdoor.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I think Dad doesn't take your shirt off ever.
I wear it a lot. Narda likes the shirt on me, so.
It's a nice shirt.
It takes me right back to junior high.
According to Joe.
He said he could fit into this in junior high. So
I was talking to him the other day.
He's Joe's.
I said, "Hey, what size shirt do you wear?" And he's like, he said, I forgot what he said back, and I said, "You're still a medium, right?" He just laughed.
He laughed. Yeah.
He said, what did he say? He goes, I'll have to be putting in my 300 minutes of exercise for quite a while. 300 minutes a week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
did he mention anything about going to hunt stock, Paul? But
he didn't, no.
Yeah. I wondered if he went.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll ask him next time I talk to him.
I was thinking to Joe there. I haven't seen anything on hunt stock yet. I know they had it. That's a big event, but for us, it's even for Joe. Joe's a little closer than we are, but it's still a long ride.
Yeah, Joe's actually closer to us than I thought.
Yeah.
It's only, 45 minutes away or whatever?
Hunt stock?
No, Joe.
Oh, yes.
Joe's like, 45 minutes away?
Right. He's southern heuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still in the same county.
So, yeah. Yeah, not far away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, last podcast, we talked about satellite messaging. So, I'd gotten a lot of comments on that because a lot of people use it.
Right.
Some people still use the inReach and like that. But I appreciate the input on that stuff because, like, as it stands right now, I'm not going to buy an inReach.
Right.
I'm going to use, so it looks like it is iPhone 14 and newer.
Yeah. I asked that question to you, Paul, if there was, and I did look that up, and you're right, it was.
And you got to have updated software. So I suspect it was a software change.
Yeah.
So when we updated our software back in June or whatever, it became active and works well.
Yeah.
So I like it. Had a lot of people comment about weather wool. So we were talking about wool, and there's a company, Weather Wool, that produces some wool that seems like it's pretty good, but it's pretty expensive.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
A pair of wool pants is like 500 and something bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, I could use a few new garments there, hunting garments, and one is a good pair of wool pants. So I was leaning towards Johnson. I get on their website here this past week.
Did you look at it?
Yeah. It is 15%, I think, 15% nylon.
Yeah, it's a blend.
Yeah.
No.
85% wool or 80% wool. I think the jackets they differ just a little. One was 80% wool and the other was 85% wool. And
yeah, it's kind of all over the place. You really get it. You really got to read the description and where the product's coming from and what it's made out of, because you can be disappointed.
Right.
Even like I can remember even a few years back when Filson had a lot of good wool stuff. If you got what they called their heritage wool, it was safe. It was going to be made in Seattle and it was going to be 100% virgin wool.
Right.
But when you get to some of the more modern stuff, like they had some like different takes on their cruiser jacket.
Right.
And that stuff was made like in Bangladesh
Yeah.
and overseas.
So I was looking at those vests too, Paul, we talked about, and
what was the price? It must be almost $300.
$295, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah. So when you get into shipping and taxes and stuff, you're well over $300. And
I never did. I meant on the last podcast too. I said I was going to look it up, and I never did.
Yeah, I think the last one that that we bought, it was around $50.
Gramps.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was $50.
That's crazy.
And it doesn't seem, and of course it was quite a while ago, but it doesn't seem that long ago. I'd look them up and they were $50 for
time. Time flies by.
Yeah.
It's
and now
crazy.
they're up around 300. So yeah.
So and it's back to the satellite messaging. My take is like that's going to become obsolete for Garmin. Just because I can only see satellite messaging on phones and stuff becoming the functionality increasing over time, and it having more and more features as time goes on. You see that with so many things, like just GPSs. Remember the GPSs you could get in the vehicles back in the day?
Yeah,
like that was a hot thing. For
I
a
have
while.
one.
Yeah,
Tomcat.
Yeah, TomTom.
Okay.
TomTom. But then Garmin had one, and you'd buy that, stick it into your.
Don't laugh at me. I still use it.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
You don't have navigation in your pickup?
No,
really?
No. Well, Narda's car, I don't have navigation in either one. Narda's car is a 2014 Toyota Camry.
Okay.
And don't want to get rid of the car because it's such a good car.
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, 150,000 miles, 2014. And the only reason I keep it, it's such a good car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sitting in the driveway. It looks brand new.
Yep.
And it runs like it's brand new.
Yeah.
So
ours are the same way.
I can't get rid of it.
And I'm like, I don't know what I would buy.
Yeah.
Like I just can't justify
the
price and
that's
hard.
This is a car that's lived in northern Maine and stayed outside the entire time, no garage. And it's I've never done anything to it other than brakes and maintenance, oil change, and
especially if you don't care about having the latest and greatest.
And like I said, the car looks great. The car looks great. There's no rust on it or anything, and it you wash it and wax it, and it man, it looks fantastic. I can't justify going out and buying a new one. So
I guess appreciate the advice from everybody. Because, I mean, I'm not here to sit here and tell everyone what's the best this and that. It's great to have like input from lots of people. And then you start to find a common theme with things.
Right.
And like Weatherwool was one of them.
Yeah.
It's like, I get a number of people saying it's good stuff. So it's like, oh, must be something to it.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. So that's valuable.
Yeah.
That's valuable information.
You're right. And one of the things I talked about, and Narda's been mentioning it to me all week, I told her, I said, I might go over and get an iPhone. For that reason, I would like to have Onyx on it.
Yeah, see, that's another thing.
Which I don't have. So I carry a GPS.
Yep.
And I could eliminate that, and I could get that. And I was going to get an InReach.
Yep.
And maybe I could eliminate that.
Cleans up all kinds of devices.
That's exactly right.
So I still carry a GPS, and I actually had messaged someone today about it because I got an email regarding InReach. And it was a guy from New York that said that, he started using his phone. And he goes, it's been working so good.
Yeah.
And I said, I still have the Garmin GPS because it's something that I always used.
Right.
And it works.
Yeah.
Right. But I never turn it on. I put new batteries in it every fall. I lug it around with me and I never pull it out since I've gotten Onyx on my phone. I download the maps on my phone.
Yeah.
We don't have service, and I put my phone in airplane mode. And just use the offline method it's great. And I've never had a time when I couldn't use it.
Yeah.
So that's real good. So what's in the forecast for the season?
Weather forecast?
No, for deer season.
Deer season. Oh, well, everything looks great
Let's make
for deer.
how's the deer hunting going to be?
Deer hunting's going to be good this year.
How about the bird hunting?
That I have a lot of questions on. But I haven't spent enough time in the woods, Paul, to for birds, and I haven't heard much either. But I know that we had a cold, wet spring. So
yeah, I think bird hunting. You know those years because you have years where it's like bad for everyone.
Yeah,
we had one of those not too long ago. No one was seeing birds anywhere. But then you have years where it's like it's kind of regional, where you get, you might go out to one spot or one area and see a couple birds, and then you talk to someone else who went to another area and they saw like 20.
And that happens.
And I get a feeling it's going to be a year like that.
Yeah.
Because people I've talked to, like I've seen some birds up fishing.
Yeah. But I haven't seen any up to the camp. So
I'm kind of getting two stories. Like some people are saying, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
And then you get people saying, oh, yeah, I've been seeing birds. And
But as far as the deer goes, I'm only hearing one story, and that's good for northern Maine, so, for up here. We still don't have 5 to 10 deer per square mile or anything close to that, but a lot more than we have had in the last, 10 years or so.
Yeah. So
15 years.
I got a funny story about that. So I was down back shooting the Remington 552 Speedmaster. First time shooting it, love it. Like it was so much fun. And it is like I shot 150 rounds, 200 rounds through it.
Right.
In no time. Like I couldn't do that with my deer rifle.
Right.
I'm going to shoot 20 max. So we're down back playing around with it and took it apart, cleaned it. And the thing is immaculate. I don't think it's hardly been shot. And so I was just getting it because I had the barrel off it and stuff. So I went down, sighted it in, and I was going to do a bunch of like offhand shooting and stuff like that. And I warn the kids every time, and Lacey, when I go down back.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going down to shoot. Don't come down unless you call me first and tell me that you're going to come down. So I was actually messing around with the camera, and I caught movement like behind me, and it kind of startled me because I thought it was one of the kids coming down. And I'm like, I warned them not to come down.
You told them not to.
I turned around, it's a deer.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there shooting.
Yeah.
And there's a deer like 20 yards behind me.
Yeah.
And
they're used to the sounds and stuff around, This isn't a wilderness deer. This is a.
So I'm like, what the heck? So I grabbed my phone and I took some footage of it real quick. Here, I got cameras set up everywhere. Not one of them's on.
Yeah.
And I was,
No,
I was like, jeepers.
The deer, the things look good for the deer hunt this year. And
especially if the weather cooperates.
Yeah.
If we get some snow and some good weather, it'll be a good year.
I know some people that spend some time in the woods and they see deer almost every time, and they've seen nice bucks and stuff in velvet, and so
we've seen nice bucks.
Yeah, we have.
Like we were saying last time.
Yeah.
You can go quite a while and not see a buck in velvet.
I go years up here without seeing a buck in velvet, especially a big buck.
Yeah.
A decent buck.
Yeah, it's been
decades I can go. So
I wonder how the moose hunt will be.
Seeing moose too, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's moose out there. That hunt has changed over the last 20 years, but there's still moose there.
Yeah.
So that there again, that'll depend a lot on the weather, when they.
Yeah, if it's warm and stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
You get some good, quiet, cool mornings and stuff where you could do some calling.
We've had some years where there's been really
hot.
Well, the day you shot your moose last year, it got warm.
It did. And it does in the end of September. I mean.
Yeah, some beautiful days in September.
Yeah. And I think that was early. I think that was the 23rd of September when the first day of moose season last year.
Yeah.
I think it was September 23rd. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're heading that direction because we got Labor Day.
Next weekend.
Yeah, that's the following Monday, right?
Yeah.
Not this Monday, but the next Monday. And those nights are starting to feel.
Yeah.
That fall, that autumn.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly the length of day you can,
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
You notice a big difference in the length of day.
I read something the other day we're not going to see a sunset after 8 p.m. until next May.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
the
bummer.
last I checked, I think sunset was at 7:30, or maybe that's.
Is it that early?
I think it is.
Yeah, because it's completely dark at just
8
after
o'clock.
8.
Yeah.
The other day I happened to look and
Yeah.
I was working on something up here and it was completely pitch dark out. And I looked, I think it was 8:05.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And I think it had been dark for
Yeah.
a little bit. So one thing we're going to talk about today is, so we've been talking about learning and stuff. And I've gotten some emails from people that are new to wanting to learn to deer track. And they're taking it up. Some of them are like later in life. And that's great. It's fantastic.
Mm.
And it got me thinking of how much of deer tracking is teachable?
Yeah.
Like, what can you really learn from someone else?
Yeah. So you had sent me that text on that subject, and I immediately thought, can you teach somebody to track deer? And I thought, yes and no.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I thought, you just have to have a desire and passion, and you can't teach somebody that.
No.
Because tracking a deer is physically and mentally challenging.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to.
You got to want to be there.
You got to want to do it awful bad. I think of some of the times you can get discouraged after 4 or 5 hours of tracking a deer and through the worst huckus holes and rivers and climbing hills and you just look in front of you and you think, there's no way I could see a deer in here. And things started to play into your mind because, man, if I ever shot a deer in here, how would I get it out, And I know those aren't supposed to be the things we think about, but they have crossed my mind more than once after a long day on the track and how far the truck is to get back to the truck yourself.
Cold, you're wet.
You have to really, and that's the mental part of it. And of course, the physical part is you're drained.
Yeah.
You're spent. And
thankfully, my point of view on it is I just like being out there so much that it becomes.
You got to have a passion for
it.
It
becomes like a non-issue.
Yes. Well, that's it.
I really just am like, I just really enjoy this. I just really enjoy. And
a lot of people wouldn't, though.
Yeah, I can see that because it can be, extremely.
Yeah, it is.
It can be easy to get in your head.
That's the mental part of it, and it's done it to me, Paul. I've been on tracks and stuff, and when you start getting really tired after a lot of hours and a lot of miles and stuff, and that's when you start thinking, I'm never going to see this deer. Yeah. And one of the things I thought about, Paul, and you'll probably, will agree with this, is it's going to be the first or second time that you encounter that deer that you're going to have a really good chance to kill it. And after that, that's when it can get in your head and you think of all the times that after the second time, it is very difficult to kill that deer. Yeah. Once he knows that he's being chased.
Especially a big buck.
Yeah.
That's been around. They're not always.
Not always. Nothing's always. But boy, you're the initial encounter, and then a lot of times after that initial encounter, they don't know what you are, and they'll go a ways and stop, and they won't go far.
No, it's like.
But after that second time, you can be in for a chase, and that's when the mental and physical. That's when it gets tough.
Yeah.
So.
What got me thinking about it is, obviously like our last podcast, but like, and I'm guilty of this and just in life in general, you take a course or something or do something and you think, oh, this is going to be a game changer. And I see, there's a lot of books and seminars and stuff like that. And I can't help but think a lot of people think like, oh, I've got the silver bullet. You know, I
Yeah.
get the magic. This is going to change my season. And I don't think there's anything
No, I think you're right.
teaching wise is going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to be a game changer for
Yeah.
my season. I think it ends up being a thing where you got to just try to get as much like base knowledge, and that base knowledge from like everything, whether it's just trying to get as much info as you can from, it could be an archery hunter, stand hunter, like just telling stories and getting just a wide breadth of knowledge of deer hunting, deer biology. But at the end of the day, you really can't learn without getting the experience part, like the experiential
boots
learning.
on the ground. Yeah. The experience of doing it. You're absolutely correct. That's another thing I pondered, Paul, back when I was getting into deer hunting big time in my late teens and early 20s. And I had nobody. My buddies were the same as, we had no mentors or anybody that we knew that
just kind of doing
deer.
it. Yeah.
I didn't know a soul, and we didn't have anything, the information online and stuff. We didn't have that. You might find an article or two in Outdoor Life or Field and Stream, and that was it.
Yeah.
The amount of information out there just wasn't available.
You were learning by your own
and you
mistakes.
went out and did it and learned, from experience. That's exactly how you did it.
There's something to be said about that too, because you develop things, you end up kind of running your own race.
Right.
And I find that's very important for really in life in general, is to kind of, I don't want to say stay in your lane, but like you run your race, worry about, figuring out what works for you. Because when you're trying to emulate someone else or do what someone else is doing, it may not translate
right
in your situation. So sometimes when you're forced to kind of figure things out on your own, you kind of come up with novel ways of doing things.
Yeah. Experience is a good teacher, that's for sure. Yeah. Being out there and
you see, like, I was just thinking back in school, the big thing when I was in college was, you can only learn so much from a book and from someone telling you what's the right way to do it. There's a huge part of that program was the experiential education. You spent a lot of time as a student in the field doing it.
Yeah.
And learning that way, because that's the only way.
Yeah.
They would always say, see one, do one, teach one. Kind of the learning method of you see someone do it.
Yeah.
You do it yourself. And then if you can teach someone, show someone how you're doing it, then you've kind of got your head around what's going on. But there's so many little things that happen in the course of a day, like tracking a deer, that you can't even possibly begin to explain it to everybody, and to a lot of the decisions you make. You may not even really know why you're making them.
Right.
So it's hard to really, explain that to someone in just face-to-face or without going through that whole process.
And that's, you're right. And that's, I look back, Paul, at some of the ways we kill deer by, tracking deer. I've killed a few deer, at least two that I can think of right off, where the deer crossed the road near my vehicle.
Yeah.
And one guy stayed on the track. I drove up around I had knowledge of the area and what the deer did in that area, and went up around to where I thought he might come out on the other end and shot the deer, doing just so we were actually tracking the deer, but we did something. We both didn't just stay on the track. One of us stayed on the track. The other went up around. And that has to do with knowledge of an area and stuff.
Well, just so the greater knowledge base you have,
right,
the better, faster decisions you can make.
Yeah.
So whether it's tracking a deer in the middle of the woods and you have to make a decision on something.
Yeah.
And so exposing yourself, it's great to expose yourself to books and teaching,
Yes,
and
it is.
seminars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be the
It's not going to be
pill to
the
your
main
success.
factor in how good you're going to be at that endeavor, whether it be deer tracking or whatever. So
yeah.
Yeah, I've shot, like I say, there's a lot of different ways I've shot deer, tracking deer that I just didn't track. And sometimes you shoot a deer, you're tracking a deer, and you shoot a deer that you come upon. You know,
well, there's times it was my mother-in-law's 60th birthday the other day, so they'd come over for a little bit, and I got talking to Keith about hunting. We got telling some stories, and just was kind of going through a bunch of just random stories. We were kind of talking back and forth, and you think of like times when because there's so many areas in Maine where you're on a deer track and you're thinking, well, how would I ever get a shot at a deer in here?
That's what I was just saying. You after you've tracked for 4 or 5 hours and you can't see your hand in front of your face, you're going,
But for me, that kind of, so I think of the buck that jumped into the lake.
Yeah.
Right. The first time I jumped him up, he didn't jump hard. I just see his butt end. Yeah. Couldn't see his head. Couldn't tell if it was a buck. I'm quite certain it was one I was on when I saw it. And then after I walked over, that was the buck. He just kind of, how their tail just kind of flickered. Yeah. He wasn't, and he just kind of snuck out of there. And again, that was the circumstance, like you said, first chance.
He goes a little ways and he stops and he waits to see whatever,
second
if
chance,
it's going to pursue him.
I had an opportunity. After that was when he went and jumped in the lake.
You never got close again.
But one of the things that made my decision for me is he went through a bunch of moose, and I just kind of did a loop around. Wasn't going to get mixed up with those moose. Picked up his track again. You get into like a little Christmas tree farm. And so you got two options. Or two options that may run through your head. One, I got to try to sneak through here as quiet as possible, but that's going to take forever. And there's no way you're going to, or two, it's like, let's just get through the mess.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I just got to get through, because I know that there is an end to this little Christmas tree farm.
Yeah.
And so I actually had a great quick opportunity at that buck because I was motoring right through. And
sometimes that can be a good tactic to really push.
He sat there and waited for me, and he was like 15 feet away from me or whatever. I come around in a spruce tree. But if I would have been going, really, I would never saw the deer because he would have had all the time in the world to sit there and think, I hear something. Yeah. They have that moment of like trying to figure things out. Yeah.
You're right. I always called it the assessment period. They always take time to assess. Yeah. They never just take off.
And even when
there's an assessment period that
when I stepped around the corner, it was literally a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
He was like,
so I shot a deer track in that way. He went into a wicked thicket, and we had a lot of snow on the trees and stuff. And I thought, I'm going to walk around the edge. And I went around the edge. And the deer I walked right up to the deer. He's standing there. He's expecting me to come through the thicket. I come up around to the side of him. And if I had gone through the thicket, I'm sure he'd have taken off. But he just stood there and looked at me.
It's crazy. So you talk about getting discouraged, and it's easy to have moments where you get discouraged. But my God, like I can remember just a couple years ago, we were tracking some deer, and we jumped them up. And it was a buck and a doe, and they took off running, and they literally, it was almost like in mid stride, they bedded down.
Yeah.
Like zero indication, just we're running in a straight line. And
I've had that happen a number of times.
It was like they jumped into their bed.
The second time after I jumped it up the second time from its bed. Yeah. He didn't bed down. Yeah.
So Keith and I kept talking about that because he kept saying, he's like, man, the only time I've seen big bucks, he was like, was with you tracking.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's gone twice with me or 3 times. And every time we saw nice deer and got shots off at him or should have had. And one of them, we were talking about that big buck. Probably the biggest buck I've ever tracked.
Mm.
Not counting the one that I shot 2 years ago. But remember, he had a great big hoof on him.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big deer. And we jumped him up, but you could see where, well, he heard us coming. And what he did is he jumped off into some thick stuff. You can see where he stood there for quite a while. And I'm looking over at it. I looked at Keith and I'm like, he heard us coming. He stood right here for quite a while. And you can see where he kind of just pranced back and forth.
Yeah.
And when I stepped down in there to look, he was on the other side of some spruce trees. And that's when he jumped out into the tote road or into a skid trail in front of Keith. And Keith had his gun slung and was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he was laughing because he's like, my God, if I didn't have my gun slung, he's like, I had all the time in the world to nothing between him and I, broadside, him just looking at me.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time. And then Keith chewed at the time. So we're sitting there and I was like, well, hang out here for 20 minutes or so. And he won't go very far. And we literally went like one skid trail over and he was behind a blowdown waiting for us.
Yeah.
And I got some shots at him running. It was game over.
Yeah.
Because he went right straight into some jack firs and he did the whole, we're going to loop back around his track. He must have just ran in circles in there for, and it was like 2:30 in the afternoon at that point. And we're like, well, we'll head out and it may have been even later than that. But yeah, that was just first time, second time. Then after that, it was, he was going to.
Yeah, most like I say, I don't have, and that's another thing about, you know, gaining that experience to track, Paul. Yeah, when you think about it, how long it takes you to be good at anything, how many hours, how many days you have to do it. Well, the reality of life is I had 1 week off a year to hunt.
Yeah, it's hard to.
And out of that 1 week, you're dependent on snow.
Yeah.
So some years you're not going to get the snow. So there you may go a full year without even being able to practice to, you know, to track a deer. So in a lifetime, you know, so, you know, now I have more than 1 week, but I mean, for 40 years of my work life, you get 1 week a year off to hunt deer. Yeah, and you're dependent on the weather to give you snow or the conditions to track a deer. And it doesn't always happen. So, you know, the average working man is never going to be a really good deer tracker. You know, you just don't have the hours and days into it.
Put into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, you know, you know, now I look back and I have a lot of years, so I have a lot to draw from, but then the legs are tired.
That's it. Then the body isn't quite
the body. It's a little easier to give up at noontime or 1 o'clock on the track when you. And
you know what? Some days that's okay.
Yeah.
No reason to.
Yeah.
Kill yourself over it because the end of the day,
like I say, some days you know you understand that first or second time, and I'm more the type of guy that after that second time now I may go look for another track somewhere. That can be a long afternoon.
But you never know what can happen.
It can happen.
You know,
we've done it.
You can be tracking him and cross. Yeah, that shot a big buck there with a doe.
And that was the key with that. He was with the doe and he didn't want to leave her.
She was almost like annoyed with us.
Yeah.
Remember, she was just kind of. Yeah. Finally, at the end of the day, she was just letting us walk up to her, and he was kind of just circling around everywhere.
She's the reason that he died.
Yeah. Women, they've got an awful
draw on men.
They mess up a lot of guys' lives.
We won't go there.
Not mine, but
we won't go there. But they have their power over us.
They do. So, boys, and deer during the rut. He's
thinking about other things than saving his skin a lot of times. And
they do some crazy stuff. So you never know.
Yeah. Some people don't like that scenario, Paul, a buck with a doe.
I love it.
I personally love it. I do. I've had good luck with that.
It's always been a good, if I get a buck and a doe together, it's always been, and maybe it's because I've had good luck with it.
Yeah.
And then I'm a little more optimistic about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
it ends up playing out in my favor. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, I know there's you get 2 sets of eyes, but
right.
that buck doesn't care.
2 sets of ears and everything.
Like,
if
he's focused
I've had
on
good
her,
luck with it.
Yeah. Especially if you can split him up.
Yeah.
He wants to come back to her.
Yeah. I've shot a number of deer that way that,
yeah.
Tracking it. And I know it was with a doe and split them up. And some I've called, I've just stopped. they didn't see me. They heard me and took off, but they didn't see me. And I'd just stand there.
Yeah.
And blow on a grunt call, and the buck walked right back out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I always get excited, and I'm like, oh, it's a buck and a doe.
Yeah.
Because he's not, if he's going to stay with her, he's not going on a 10-mile jaunt.
No.
He's going to stay with her.
I like that scenario myself.
And we're going to have this, we'll be into something pretty quick.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out, but yeah, that's a fun scenario.
And if you pick it up with a doe, you pick up the track. You generally, that the doe, she's not going to go on a 10-mile mission or whatever. She's
go far.
Yeah, she's going to feed and bed down, and so if he stays with her, that you won't have to track 3 hours to get caught up to him.
There was one, was it 2 years ago? Remember, he was just on the other side of the trees.
Yep.
You hear him breathing.
Yeah.
And he was with a doe.
But that was
but he left her.
He did. They split up, and he never went back.
No.
And
no, he left her.
But after we got pushing that deer too, Paul, it became a chase.
Yeah, he was going all over the place.
Yeah. He and they start trotting, and they'll trot a long way after that, without slowing down.
Yeah.
So
that also, it's funny when I think about some of these podcasts, sometimes I never know where I'm going to end up. And one of the things that had come to my mind was, so when you're learning to hunt, or you want to learn to deer track, and experience is so important, and just doing it. But I got thinking about AI, artificial intelligence, and it's become, we did an episode a while back on it. We were talking about just how do you learn in an age where information's coming so fast.
Yeah.
And it's coming faster and faster and faster. I find myself right now, like, I like learning new things, but it seems like everything new that I learn, it advances so quick that you could just spend endless hours learning new things and never actually doing anything with what you learn.
Right.
Like, there's so much new stuff coming.
Right.
And so one of the things is, artificial intelligence is being thrown around a lot, and everyone talks about it being used for a lot of stuff. But I was kind of curious, I'm like, how is it affecting the hunting world? And there's a misnomer out there that it gets mischaracterized, artificial intelligence. And you see it, and I saw it when I was reading some stuff for this. You get authors writing articles on artificial intelligence, and they're basically saying, it's mimicking the way humans think. And it really isn't. It's not the same sort of thinking as the way we think. And it's basically a mathematical model that is looking at patterns, and it uses mathematical equations to basically find patterns, and then build upon the patterns that it finds for things, they call them large language models, but and so it's looking for patterns. And so artificial intelligence isn't the same as human thinking. And just to illustrate that, when you walked up here, one of the things, I was cleaning my gun the other day, and my room smells like, was it hops number 9 or is it hoppies or hops? I know people call it hoppies, but
I'm not sure.
Anyway, gun cleaning solvent. It's got a very unique smell, and that just reeks like deer season.
Yeah, anybody that hunts knows that smell.
It's a very warming, comforting feeling.
Yeah. They had that stuff around when I was a little kid. So it's been around forever.
When people learn, when we learn, the way we think and process things, it's like a whole web of input. It's a very dynamic process because you've got all your senses, sight, smells, which create emotions. So your amygdala is your emotional portion of your brain. It kind of activates that. And that's how it spawns memories. Maybe for me, it's a good memory, the hops. But let's say if I was a kid and my father was
a smoker,
an alcoholic, and he would clean his guns while he was drunk and beat me, then I probably would associate that smell with a negative feeling.
Well, it's funny you
that's
mentioned
something
that because
that artificial intelligence, it doesn't have that
emotion.
It doesn't that, and it doesn't have any sense of consciousness.
Right.
It's a totally cold, pattern based.
Yeah.
It trains itself through patterns to learn stuff. What were you going to say?
Oh, my dad was a heavy smoker. And to this day, if I smell cigarette smoke, it takes me back to, hunting and fishing with him. A good memory.
Yeah. So
because he always had a cigarette out in the boat, or if we were bird hunting and stuff, he always and so to this day,
probably that first light too of a cigarette has a unique smell.
Yes. That and starting the wood with the paper, the newspaper, starting the wood stove. There's a smell there that takes me back to childhood.
Yeah.
When we went into the camp, and he would get the fire going and stuff. And good memories.
So so another one is I was walking down back and I walked past the wood pile, that freshly piled wood.
Yeah.
That just reeks fall to me.
Yeah.
And so, there's a whole uniqueness to the way that we learn and think that isn't replicated by AI.
Yeah.
So people will say that, AI is mimicking human thinking, but it's not. It's more based on patterns, and there's a training that occurs by building upon these patterns and enhancing its becoming more right and predicting certain things can take in massive amounts of data. The more data that you give AI, the more it can go through and find patterns to things to come up with to formulate an answer. The analogy that I think of is like deer scouting. Deer scouting creates a knowledge base for yourself. And that would be the training method of AI. This would be analogous like the training method of AI is when you go scout, you get a knowledge base of information. So when it comes time to go hunting, you now have a foundation of information that you can build upon to make better decisions as opposed to just starting from scratch every time. So I was thinking, I'm like, how is AI changing the hunting community and deer hunters and maybe making them, can it enable deer hunters to be more successful? One of the things that I had come across was people using AI to apply for hunting tags. So if you're a non-resident and are looking for a tag in a different state, you could use AI to say, where should I apply for a tag that would be a higher probability of me getting drawn? And the more data you can provide that, it can formulate an answer based on all that data.
Yeah.
So anything has patterns. So, one thing I was thinking about is if you could take weather patterns and maybe if it's in a city up in the big woods, it's almost impossible to pattern deer. They're just pretty random, but in towns, it's kind of a different story. And, you could input all that data of, weather, historical data, stuff like that, and increase your chances of success. Well, which days would be the best to hunt, which time, and like real time data. And I wonder how much of that's being done. But it's kind of so you talk about the amount of information and stuff that we can shoved down our throats, and it just becomes more complicated with technology and that stuff. Shooters are another one with AI, ballistics and stuff like that, and the zero of your gun. I mean, the sky's the limit. The more data you give it, it can process that in real time and tell you exactly what you need to do. So I just was thinking about, how, and you see it in social media. And I was thinking about that whole tag situation. So let's say like, I'll see trends. We'll say YouTube, thumbnails and titles to YouTube videos. And I'll start to see like, man, there's a lot of like the same color patterns and the same kind of text being put into a thumbnail. And if you get on like ChatGPT and type in kind of their video idea or whatever it is, it'll populate basically like this cookie cutter thumbnail that's kind of the same. And I'm thinking, well, this is where they got their idea.
Exactly.
They typed it in to get the idea.
Wasn't their idea.
So now it's kind of funny. So, and this is where like as humans, we have a uniqueness in thought. So now let's say if everybody's like, oh, okay, I want to apply for a tag. What are the places that, that I would be the most likely to get well, if everyone's doing that
blows that out of the water.
Now you're still in this like herd of people all kind of doing the same thing.
Exactly.
And
so your odds go down.
So yeah, so then it's going to change, and I suspect AI is going to be able to adjust that model accordingly to. But you're still doing what the masses are doing.
Is it always going to be one step behind adjusting the model?
So because I was talking to Lacey about this morning, actually, she'd said something to me, and I said a lot of the things that I do are very like. If I see that, and it's just the way I'm wired, if the masses are doing it, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why that is completely. I think it's just me because we're all unique.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like if everybody's doing it, then I'm just going to be, a little piece of the.
So,
but if you do something that's completely unique,
we're kind of wired for that, what they call the herd mentality. You see it in the stock market.
Well, so there was another one. I'm like, how many people probably get on ChatGPT and are like, what is the best stock to buy? And and so you got all kinds of people doing that. And now we're all kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, or like I say.
But the guy who's thinking for himself over in the corner, who's maybe going through financials and going through quarterly statements and stuff like that and doing his work, is not going to be on the same boat as the masses.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of, when I got thinking about this, it kind of had gone down these all kinds of side tangents on AI and hunting and the outdoors and how it complicates everything. And, but one thing that I felt positive about that I was like, it would be a good tool to use for hunting regulations because they're so complicated. I think in Massachusetts, and I'm not that well versed on Massachusetts law, but it seems to me from the surface that it's a very complicated place as far as their gun laws.
I can imagine it would be
to hunt.
Yeah.
From just the feeling, I could be totally wrong, but
I've heard some
feeling I get from people
on different YouTube channels about
it almost feels like
problems with guns and stuff in Mass.
Like no matter what you do, you're probably going to be breaking the law.
Yeah. So Mass is a little different than.
So I'm like, okay, it would be great for pouring through hunting regs super quick, in real time. Like what, I can see value in that. But boys, it can muddy the water as far as deer hunting. Like I could see being able to even trail cams, like the cell cams are starting to kind of. I have mixed emotions about cell cams and
I don't own any.
Those.
So
all the places we hunt, there's no service anyway. So it's kind of but like, I mean, you could probably, get a picture remotely and then in 2 seconds have AI tell you how many inches of antler are on that deer.
Right.
And be like, oh, that's a
170 deer.
Yeah. Or like 147 and 3/8. Like it's kind of crazy. The times we're living in are just,
we could go down that road. I know a lot of states, Paul, going down another rabbit trail. They're making those cell cams illegal, and I don't know if Maine will eventually follow suit with that, but they're banned in some states, the cell cams.
I was kind of thinking too of maybe not really putting any cameras out this year.
Yeah.
But I enjoy like the September going up and just messing around with something.
It's exactly what it is. It's the fun of doing it. And, you know, we don't really use them that much for actual deer hunting. It's more just to participate in the outdoors prior.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a great time of year to be out.
Yeah.
It's cool. There's no bugs.
Yeah.
The woods feel great.
Yeah.
The fishing's slow that time of year.
Yeah.
Can't hunt anything.
I was thinking of that. I get a few cams and I'll probably put some out, you know, but it'll be more just, I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, but just to, I guess, back to the AI, that just kind of, it's never going to replace human thinking because there's no originality in it. You know, they say that their models are open, like this is how it's working, but I don't know. I still trust my own thought, and that's the important thing with like learning to deer track and all of that stuff is the importance of thinking for yourself, getting as much knowledge as you can, but not typing it into a program to basically then it just tells you what the answer is and you regurgitate that without ever actually thinking about, like, you know, does that make sense? So like, I guess AI, I just always kind of, everyone says, you know, oh, it's going to replace so many jobs and this and that. I don't give it that much value because
I don't understand it and I'm old school. I don't want something driving my vehicle for one thing.
No,
I've done well so far.
But you can't replace unique thought.
Yeah.
And we all have our own unique thought process with things.
I believe
that's shaped by our experiences, and it's going to change as we go forward. Like as we get more experiences, how we think about things will change.
Right. Things change. Your thoughts change on a lot of different things as you get older and stuff, and you understand. And
it's a super dynamic process.
Yeah.
And AI is very static. It's a very set way of learning and building upon that. Whereas, I just think of like the way we learn and take in information is such a web of input. If you just think of during the day, the amount of data that your brain takes in, like I was in the shower and I was thinking about this morning. Like I'm in the shower and it feels warm. I have the smell of the soap and the steam and I hear the water running, and there's so much information, what I'm seeing, and that there's background noise, and your brain is constantly like working through what's important. What do I need to just kind of ignore? You know, what's this background noise? What's important for me? And that's why when something serious happens, like an accident or something, it almost seems like it's happening in slow motion. It's your brain's way of trying to process everything that's super important. And when we go to bed at night, when we sleep and get good quality sleep, our brain teases through all that stuff and is deciding what do I need to hold on to and what was, you know, wasted. Like cars going by while we're doing this. Like if I focus on them, I can hear them. But the whole time I'm doing this podcast, I'm not sitting there going, oh, there's a car going by. But my brain's receiving that information. It's just not at the forefront of my thought. And so if you thought, you know, man, if we took everything in that our senses, it would be like system overload, the amount of stuff that we're taking in. So yeah, we have a very unique thought process. Plus AI and deer tracking, you can't pattern deer in big woods. It's its own beast. You might be able to use it for maybe days that, if you can provide data on weather and stuff like that and terrain, could be utilized that way. But yeah, I know a little bit about how the whole model works, it's pretty complicated and nothing I'd really care to.
I just know of it.
Spend a lot of time figuring out, but because part of me is just like, I don't want to get too
wrapped up in it.
I don't want it thinking for me.
Right.
Like, I'll think for myself.
Yeah. I'm very independent. Like I said, when these autonomous vehicles come out, I'll drive my own vehicle.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah. Cause then it's like, well, what happens if someone's like, we're going to shut your vehicle off.
Yeah.
Tap into your vehicle that way and you can't go anywhere.
Or,
like anytime, you start giving up some form of control on stuff, then you can, what if someday they say you can no longer drive any more than 100 miles a week?
Yeah.
And they have control of your vehicle.
Yeah.
If I'm driving a 1980s Chevy pickup.
Yeah. They're not stopping you from, they're not shutting your vehicle off.
But then we could get into, you can't get gas or you can't, it's like,
yeah.
But anyway, I think we've been about an hour.
Or you can't go for a walk in the woods anymore.
Yeah. Oh God, I know. Jeepers. Like it's the best thing for you.
Yeah.
So that was the AI thing came up as I was kind of going through just learning stuff in my thinking.
Yeah. I don't see myself tapping into that this deer season.
No, I have no desire to because it's such a great process, learning stuff. And I think that's something that people need to keep in mind, in my opinion, is when they're learning to do something, enjoy the process of learning it. And, I don't.
It does have its place though, I guess, Paul. It does have, if you, I've Googled things and that's now on my computer. It says it's AI.
Yeah. It'll do that first response that comes up. Yeah.
So
if you want to know something quick,
if I want to know how to sell a house that's in probate, it'll walk you through the steps in Maine.
Yeah.
So that can be,
and that's where, and that's where I brought up like the hunting regs.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how can I'm in this state.
Yeah.
Help me through that whole process instead of pouring through.
Yeah.
Cause even our, like, I was thinking fishing laws, you're like, okay, what's this pond? And then you're like, okay, S17 or whatever it is. And you get turned to the, okay, it's like, holy cow, this is complicated just to go out and cast a fly for a little bit.
Yeah, that's been a complaint of outdoorsmen for quite a few years, how complicated our hunting and fishing laws are. And I assume probably they're that way in most states.
I suspect.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do see the logic behind what they're trying to do. They're trying to manage each
body of water is unique.
Yeah,
it has its own set of
they're trying to manage each waterway for that particular situation. So I do understand it.
Yeah.
So
I guess I close this off learning to deer track. It's really just get as much knowledge as you can through as many avenues as possible.
Yes and no. You're only gonna become a deer tracker if you really have a passion for it. You got to really want it,
and you got to spend the time.
Yeah, you got to really want to do it because it's not for everybody.
No,
it's physically taxing, and that in itself, the physical part eliminates a lot of people from being able to do it.
And then there's the comfort level of being in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's the mental part.
Like,
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that comes into your mind while you're doing it, man.
Before you even get to focusing on the hunt.
Yeah.
There's some things you got to work through first.
Yeah, well, there's a lot you got to work through. If you've been on the track for 5 hours, and like I say, and you seem like you're no closer to the the animal than when you started. And
get your thumb out of your mouth and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't give up.
At the end of the day, we all turn off the track sometime.
And it never feels better.
At the end of the day, we all do, whether we're forced to by darkness or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it camp never feels as good.
Yeah.
After being on a deer track all day long.
Yeah.
You get back by the wood stove.
Yeah.
And get something warm to eat.
And if you
Sleep
take
is
anything
so
from
good.
that day, you sure learned a lot.
Yeah.
You will learn a lot about what deer do and yeah. Yeah, not that they always do the same thing, but you will learn a lot. There are patterns and stuff that they follow.
The first time I brought Lacey, that was something that came up because you take things for granted when you do it all the time.
Yeah.
And the first time she went with me, like there was this fascination with like, so wait, they bedded here?
Yeah.
And like, so we came into where there's a Doan two fawns that bedded.
Yeah.
And she literally kind of wanted to stay there and just kind of look around to see what they did. And she was super fast. And I kept thinking, come on, let's go. And
and those things, a lot of times you'll jump them out of a bed and you'll say, there's no way I could have killed that deer here. There's no way I could have. And that's probably the norm, you know, that's probably the norm. And I think that's changed too, Paul, with the introduction of the coyote, you know, I'm not sure the exact. I hunted deer up here when there were either no coyotes or very, very few when they were first coming into the country. So I think that's changed, you know, how deer react to being pursued big time.
yeah, I mean, they get chased
Yeah.
pretty hard by coyotes.
Yeah. They all get chased now. And when I was, like I say, when I was young, there coyotes were, they weren't here.
Yeah.
So that's changed their how a deer reacts to being followed or being chased. And
seems they're better at putting on some distance now.
Yeah. Yeah. And heading towards water.
Yeah.
And stuff. They a lot of
Coyotes
times
don't like water.
Coyotes don't like water, and deer will know that, and unless it's frozen over, and then the advantage goes to the coyote big time. So they pull a lot of deer down on the ice. So yeah. But
oh, good. That was fun. Kind of all over the
board. Map.
Yeah, little AI stuff. And
yeah.
So hopefully we'll be getting out soon. Put some cameras up or something.
Yeah. We'll take a ride in, maybe set some cams out, and we'll go into the country there and see. You can see what they've done.
See what's changed.
It's changed a lot.
That's
But I won't say for the worse, because they're always cutting, and deer don't mind the cuts. They like the cuts.
It's one of the reasons why we have
food.
Had deer up in northern Maine.
Yeah. It's food.
So I think when Thoreau talks about coming here, they didn't see much for deer.
No. Back in the day, it was caribou and moose.
Yeah. It was a different forest.
Yeah. It wasn't until they opened up the forest that the deer moved in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, good. All right. We'll do it again next week.
Yes.
I'll shoot you a topic.
All righty.
We'll go from there.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all she wrote. I guess till next time, get outside.
It's good for the soul.
See ya.